Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I also hope that you're all having a good festive season thus far, or silly season I like to call it, as do many. I'm trying to stay as far away from the rat race as possible leading up to. Looking forward to a nice quiet one. So I've got the dog beside me on her mat chewing on all of her chewies that I've put down. I put down a squeaky too. Let's hope she doesn't get stuck into that or you'll know about it. So I thought I would come in and try and get a little crafting video done. Now, I haven't had time to make a Christmas journal or do a December daily or anything. I did participate in Tracy Fox's hashtag DD Advent 2024. My day was the 3rd of December, so I'll link that down below in case you've missed it. Go and check it out. I had heaps of fun making a postcard book with some shaker postcards in it. That was a lot of fun. There's obviously someone each day that's doing it, and you can go to Tracy's website to find an advent calendar where you can click on each day to see the video for the day. Yeah, heaps of really cool makes, and a shout out to Tina Gilbert and Jodie Lewis who mentioned me in their videos. Much appreciated. I know that they do the December daily thing, so they put out videos most days, and they did mention me in one of their videos, which was lovely of them. So I'll link their channels down below. Go and check out and see what they're doing, especially if you're short of ideas for your December daily. You'll get some wonderful ones from them. All right, so yes, I hope you are all well. I'm muddling about, doing a lot of gardening, running around after the puppy. She's got allergies at the moment, so that's been stressing me out, and a bit of lack of sleep there, and doing training with her still, which is going really well. But yes, I thought I don't have much time, what can I do? And I dragged out some of my Christmas stuff for the Tracy Fox collaboration, and it's still, the boxes are still down, haven't put them up yet. And I thought, well, why don't I grab some of the stuff out, because I've got a lot of rubbish in there, like scraps and just random stuff that I wouldn't really use for other stuff. I thought, why not grab some of it out and make some clusters that I can use for next year's journals. So I started doing that, and then I thought it would be great to make some more bits and pieces that can go on these clusters or as standalone embellishments as well. So I'd like to do some stamping today. So it's a bit of a quick, well, not really quick because I've got heaps to do, but yeah, an easy-ish one. I thought it'd be really cool being Christmas. I love the fact, I don't really like Christmas, not very festive at all, which doesn't bother me. But I really love how we can use like heaps colourful and glittery things for Christmas. So you can drag out stuff that you wouldn't usually use and get using it. So that's what we're going to do today. I've grabbed some of my embossing powders. So I've got a Zing Silver, which looks nice and festive. A Zing, it's a green. Glitter, oh no, it just says glitter finish. Does that say? I think it just says green. Thought it would say something fancy like a lot of them do. This is a Stampin' Up Real Red Glitter. And this is, it is embossing powder, yeah. Just checking. And this is a gold. It doesn't look too glittery, and I think it's a bit of a darkish sort of gold, but we'll see how it goes. I've also grabbed a pile of just out of my scrap drawers next to me. I've grabbed some scrap bits of paper. It's a good way to use these up doing this sort of thing. So I've got some craft cardstock. I've got some brown envelope, manila folder. I have gotten into the habit of cutting these off of books because they look really cool in clusters or page edges or whatever. Let me show you what a bad habit I have of it. Yes, and this isn't the half of it, so... Oh, and there's a hair in there too. So I thought they might be fun to use as well. I've got tea-dyed paper. This one I've just used to do a spine with, and some stamping on and some gluing, but it'd be good to use that. I've got old book page pieces. Got offcuts from my digitals that I cut out. I do sort of keep most stuff. I think this is tea-dyed digital cut offs. So yes, a whole lot of rubbish there that we can stamp on, and there's piles more in that, where that came from, folks. I did grab, now I used this set for my DD Advent 2024 project and really enjoyed it. This is the Kaiser Craft Modern Christmas stamp set. It's got some nice little ones, and that's what I'd like to do, because I think that I can either die cut or punch or just cut or rip out the stamped pieces, and they will look really, really cool on some clusters, especially done with some embossing. So that's what we want to do today. And then I found this one while I was looking for those ones. It does have, it's one that I've just recently got second hand. So this is Crafter's Companion set here, by the looks. And then I've got this one, which has come with a stamping. It's not stamping up. It is, I don't know. And again, I don't think it's been mixed up. This person took good care of their stamps, though, as you can see, because they're in these pockets and all together, which is really good. A Creative Stamping Magazine, issue 49 this one is, and this has a whole lot of stamps in there. Must organise my stamps. They're a bit tragic at the moment. Oh, there's a nice star in there that would look good with the gold embossing. So I'm going to do a pile of stamping. So I don't know how much I will show you, and I think I'll do a few in real time with you, and then I'll probably speed up, put some music on or something, and just have some fun for the afternoon doing it so I can watch some stuff. And then at the end, I'll show you what we've finished up with. So I hope it gives you some ideas and you enjoy. And hopefully in the next week, well, we haven't got long till Christmas now, have we? So yeah, next week or so, I will show you some of the clusters that I've made with the stamps. So I've got my stamp blocks. I've got my Versamark watermark stamp pad. And as you know, I've got the embossing powders. So I might do a colour at a time. I might start with, let's do some green. That looks interesting. And we might start with this set. So what I might do is line up some of my bits and pieces that I might want to stamp. Now I think words would go really nicely on these. Is there two there? Yeah, there is. And I might do some words on this and this. So I think I'll do, what will I do? I do see people stamping a fair few things with their Versamark before they tip the embossing on, but I'm a bit worried it will dry out a little quick here because it's quite warm. So I'll probably concentrate on one piece at a time. One stamp and one piece at a time. So let's have a look. Oh, I like the Christmas tree. That'll look good in green. So I might do some of that. We'll go in with, let me get my embossing powder lid off, prepare myself properly. This stuff's worse than glitter. It gets everywhere. All right, so let's stamp some trees. I think 4 will do. And then we'll tip some powder on. Whoops, put my finger in it. Better than put my foot in it. I think there's enough powder on there, don't you? Let's see if I can do this. Look at that. They look awesome already. Bit of powder where I don't want it, but I think I'll worry about that afterwards. Or not at all, because I'll probably chop them out or something. We'll see, we'll see. I know you can use your little anti-static thing, but I'm lazy. So I'm just going to cut that off. Put that to the side. That looks so cool. I get excited now. Now I'm going to tip this in just so my paper's not too sparkly while I get on with the next lot of stamping. I hate this sort of mess. And we might do some words. So which ones do we want? Christmas, opening your presents. Oh, that's a bit long though, really. I like the December 25th, but I think we'll do that in a different colour. Naughty or nice. Around the tree. Around the tree, that's a nice one to do in the green as well. Although that won't necessarily fit on these strips, so I'll do that on this envelope piece. And I don't know if it'll fit on that. Almost. That's a bit thicker. There we go. It fits on that quite nicely. So I think we'll do both of those with this. I figure I might as well do a few while I've got everything out, and it will last me for a few years then. All these bits and pieces. Won't have to make any next year while I'm making my journals. Fit two on there quite nicely. Sticky stuff. Again, we will tip our powder on. Try and give it a nice coating. I'll get a paintbrush afterwards to get off the little bits, I think. But I want to get the glitter on before my ink dries firstly, so we'll worry about that afterwards before we heat it up. So again, I'll tip the powder back in. All right, let's see if we can do one of the strips with, got family and wish list, Christmas Day, ho ho ho. I think I'd like that in red. I'm so particular. Christmas memory. I don't know if I want these solid ones. Let's do opening the presents. Why not? I can always cut the words down anyway. I was thinking it's a bit long, but I might do some bigger clusters than that. So I might just do, I'll do them both. Why not? So I must wash my stamps off afterwards too. We'll just fit that twice on there. You can just see the faint watermark, so you know where to stamp the next one. All right. So I can hold that one by this end. Oops, there goes half my container of embossing powder. Look at that, just beautiful. There, can I pick this up without smudging any of what I've done? It's just magical doing this. Look at that, they're beautiful. Very happy with how these are coming up. Again, tip my embossing powder away. So I think that's probably enough for me to do while talking, because I don't really have much to tell you guys. I will speed it up, and I probably won't show it all. I'll go on and do some more in the green, and then I'll probably show you a bit of each colour as I'm doing it, and then I'll come on at the end and we'll have a look at what we've got. I'll show you when I start embossing them too, because that's always fun to see it change. So I just thought I'd show you, I've got this box here that I'm going to lay the bits with the embossing powder on, so I can have them singularly in here and pick them up from here to heat them up, so that they don't, so the powder doesn't get rubbed off by me putting them on top of each other. I'm just going to put that to the side if I can find somewhere. And I've got a little paintbrush here. I'm already rubbing the powder off this one. Got a little paintbrush here that I can go in and just move some of the extra bits. If I need to, I'll get a different paintbrush, but no, this one's doing all right. It's got a bit of a fine tip, so I can try and grab just those little singular pieces. Oops, try not to take it off of your words. You need patience and a steady hand for this. So I will just go and do that, and then I will put them into my box that I showed you. So all up, this video has taken me 5 days. Yeah, it doesn't usually take that long, don't worry. Just don't have much time, so I sort of embossed in one colour each day for 4 days. So I've got heaps of embellishments here. It was a really fun project. This is a wonderful scrap buster for all your bits of paper that you got left over and cardstock and that. Great mass make as well. So we will have a look at what we've done. Now there's a bit of extra embossing powder loose around on everything, unfortunately, because I didn't realise when I was going through them that one of them I hadn't heat set, so it's left its glitter on everything. So we'll have a look at what we've got here. I might just tip it out, which is dangerous. Give it a bit of a shake and try and get some of that excess powder off. So as you can see, I have piles and piles and piles of embellishments, so it's definitely a worthwhile project. I love how these have turned out as well. Not the best embosser or embellishment maker, but when you're doing your junk journals, that doesn't matter, does it? That's the way I look at it. So some of them aren't perfectly stamped or embossed, but because we will probably be layering them a lot of the time, we can hide any of those imperfections. Also, you will notice when you do embossing that the powders do vary a bit, as does how the ink works on the different papers, because I know one of the papers I used was my photo mat, and on the printable side, the ink didn't really take very well. So the embossing powder wouldn't stick to it that well. So that was interesting. So you sort of learn as you go. Also, I'm quite heavy-handed with my stamping. I tend to press down quite hard to make sure I get a good print, but sometimes that smushes the ink a bit so you don't get a clear emboss. Other times it works better depending on the stamp, so you sort of learn as you go. So I've got a lot of word ones, and I cut some of them out with die cuts. Other ones are just ripped. I like the ripped look. Now you can see there I've got powder where it's not meant to be. I couldn't be bothered getting it off with my brush in between, but that is fine. Just didn't want to be too fussy, so I've got lots and lots of the word ones. And the ho-ho-hos, and of course a lot of them were done on the edge of papers. I harvest books for the bookshop to recycle them. If they have the wire binding, I bring them home and I rip the pages out to put in the paper recycling. And then, of course, I put the binding coils in the rubbish. So sometimes I like the edges that come with those, so I cut them off and keep them. Labour of love, that is. So I've got all those word ones, which I might keep in their own little pile. So cool though. And then I did heaps with I really loved the scallop die and circle die on these sorts of embellishments, on my snowflakes and that. The ones that I could find that fit well. So I used a lot of those for these rounder embellishments, and I absolutely love those. You could make dangles out of them, just keep them as embellishments. So I think they turned out really, really cool. So I've got stacks of those, which I will put in a pile of all the different colours, or most of the different colours. I think I did snowflakes in just gold and silver. If I did every stamp in every colour, I would have been here another 5 days. It's another word. This silly season, that was one that I think I was pressing a bit hard, and it was hard to get a clear word with the embossing. Or it might just be the way the stamp is. It's very hard to tell. That's another one that I die cut. So I just tried to find dies that would fit over the words okay, like this one. Little banner die. And the stars I love as well. When I cut these ones out with my scissors, but what I was doing was, if I can find one to show you, here we go. I was using this die that has the faux stitching. Absolutely love the way that turned out. Didn't think it would look any good because the die shape's a little different from the actual stamp. But I didn't realise it had the faux stitching, and when I did it, I thought it looked awesome. Unfortunately, though, some of my stars were on thinner bits of cardstock or paper, so the die would have been off of the paper. So I just cut those out with scissors then, and they still look really, really cool. Then we've got our boots and our mittens. Now, as you can see, I didn't get ink all the way there, so the embossing powder didn't take. Plus, with some of the embossing powders, I think it was the green and the red, they're older powders that I got secondhand. I was burning them a little bit in some spots. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but you can actually see some darker bits where it's burnt because it's got too hot. So it just takes time to figure out your different powders as well. So I love those. They're really cool as well, especially fussy cut. I just did those with my scissors. So it took a bit of time cutting them out with the big shot and my scissors and that, but it was so worth it. I think these are awesome little embellishments. I have stacks of these. These will last me years, which is wonderful. Then we've got the present that's got a lot of spots where they're not meant to be, but that's all right. And again, I fussy cut that one out. I'd have to say these are about my favourites, though, these ones. Love the die that I use. Those and the stars, really happy with. Got my Christmas tree. I decided to fussy cut him out. As you can see, I didn't get enough ink on that one, but again, if we're layering, we can put something over the top so you only see this part and it doesn't matter then. So you don't have to be the best at embossing and do everything perfect. Most of my embossing powders are secondhand, so I've just ordered some new ones because I really love using them. So I'm stocking up on different colours. So that's snowflakes. And then I had the leaves. Now they didn't, this is one of my better ones. They didn't take, I don't know whether it was my stamping or the powder or what, but they didn't get good coverage, but I still really like them. So the ones, some of them I must have accidentally wiped off the powder down the bottom of the stem, but again, I'll layer them behind things. So I just want to sort them out so you can look at them as I sort them. So some of these, instead of die cutting because there wasn't enough room, I have just cut them out or ripped them out. My partridges, they're real pretty, and you could put them on as the both of them, or you could rip them down and just have one. And with a lot of these, other than the powder that I didn't get off with the brush, you wouldn't know that they were handmade. They look really, really cool. That one's got your distressed edge die. I like that. That fits the ho-ho-ho really, really nice. So I used a number of different dies. I don't know what all of them are because a lot of them are second hand, but I just went through all of my dies, which I have here. As you can see, I went through a stack of them just to find label dies and circles and scallops and that would fit these projects. This one I got a bit, this one was hard because it's not, the die is solid, so it's very hard to get things centered in it. But I did do quite well. See, I got that one really nice, and that looks really cool. That one, bit of a dud, but again, when it's layered up, it will be fine. Now, again, some of these I couldn't fit the die or a punch over, so I just cut them out into hexagons. I did have one punch that I found fit one of the words, but I didn't like the way it looked that much. But if you do have circle punches that fit well, that would be the quickest and easiest way of doing this. Or you could just rip around them all. It looks nice and rustic. So now I have embossing powder all over my desk, but as I said, most of that come off of the one that I hadn't heat set and I didn't know, and I threw it in here with these. If you heat set them properly, you shouldn't have embossing powder everywhere. So these are all the embellishments I made. There's stacks and stacks of them. Absolutely love how they turned out. I hope you do too. We'll put pictures at the end for a closer look at them. So give it a go. Great way to scrap bust these little bits and pieces of paper that I have lying around, which I have stacks of. So doing this sort of thing is great to use them up and have piles of embellishments that I'll be able to use in future journals. So do take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and I will see you again soon. Bye.